So now, as a spiritually awakened person, as a spiritually empowered person, we are now going to learn how to use our thoughts to manifest items, how to use the thoughts to make things happen. The greatest power in the universe is not fire, water, or magic, but it is the thought. Every word, every action, every destiny begins first as a thought in the invisible realm of the mind. So when you see things happening, it is because it started from the mind. Very many people have the power to make things happen by just mere thinking. You look at something like this, you think of it happening, and it happens. That is why we advise that you don't share your ideas, your goals, your what with people, because someone can think of you failing and it happens. So many people are empowered in such a way. They have the strength to make things happen. For example, one time I was traveling and in the bus, I started seeing in my mind, I started seeing the driver sleeping and losing control and knocking another vehicle. In less than just a minute, that happened. This bus went and knocked another vehicle that was in front and it stopped. So as people were shouting, Jesus, what? Me, I was there seated because I knew, I had the vision of that in my mind. I saw it coming and I prepared. I knew something was going to happen wrong anytime soon. And I woke up, I held the chair in front of me. And it happened, I didn't feel anything, but the other people felt the weight of inertia. So one thing is your spirit can inform you of whatever is about to happen to you. And that is the power of spiritual awakeness. And you can also think of something and it happens. So as a spiritually awakened person, you have the power to think of anything and it happens. And the only power you need again is the power to control those thoughts. The power to replace the negative thought with a positive one. Because you know, as a spiritually awakened person, whatever negative you think about will happen, and whatever positive you think about will also happen. So you need to fill your mind with positive thoughts. So if you cannot control your thoughts, the negative thoughts, you may end up becoming a witch instead of a healer. So ensure you use these thoughts for positive purposes and not negative purposes. Because your thoughts are not just ideas, they are living vibrations. They attract, create, and shape the realities around you. And when you learn to control them, you gain the same gift the ancients called the power of command, the ability to make things happen through focused intentions. You see, there are even people who are able to just look at something and move it. They look at an object from a table or somewhere and they want to move it to another place, and they'll be able to do that. That is a different level of spiritual awareness. Not everyone can do that, but there are people who have that ability, that spiritual gift in them. So the untrained mind is like a wild wind. It blows everywhere. But the awakened mind becomes the divine instrument, bending energy to fulfill purpose. So thoughts are spiritual seeds. Whatever you plant in the mind grows in the unseen first, and then manifests in the physical. And that is why fear attracts trouble. And faith attracts miracles. Sometimes when you start fearing certain diseases, that is when you suffer. You start falling sick of those conditions you're fearing. When you say, I fear maybe pressure or diabetes, at the end of the day, you will suffer from pressure or diabetes. So the only thing is to know how to control your mind. So every emotion strengthens your thoughts. Fear gives birth to obstacles and sicknesses. Anger attracts confusion. And love and faith open gates of abundance. So the spirit world responds not only to your words, but to the vibration behind your thoughts. So to think with power is speaking silently to creation itself. So these are some of the things you can do to use your thoughts to make things happen. And it is a step-by-step procedure, a progressive procedure. It is not something that you're going to do once and for all, or you're going to wake up one day and you just do it and it happens. You have to practice it. You have to train your thoughts. So we are going to start by training our thoughts. First of all, every day, every morning, wake up and sit for like 5 minutes just to observe your thoughts without any judgment. First, analyze what kind of thoughts obsess you. Is your head full of negative thoughts or positive ones? After assessing yourself, then you can know how to start. Also learn to visualize with emotion. When you desire something, maybe healing or money or peace, see it clearly in your mind as if it already exists. That is how you can get it. You look at it as if it is already in your pocket. You look at it, that is how you can gain the power to use your thought. And it will exactly happen the way you think it. And you need to realize that the stronger your emotion is, the faster the universe will respond. So to make your thoughts stronger, you can speak it out. Whisper it out. Whisper your desires before sleep and upon waking up. These are the hours when the mind is more connected to the spirit. Hours just before you sleep and just before you wake up. Try as much as possible to utilize those hours. That is why we encourage people when they're going to sleep, they mention some words before they sleep, because that is the time when these two are more connected, the spirit and the mind. However, you need to guard your mind daily. Avoid conversations, music, or images that weaken your mind vibration. Always know that what you feed your mind with becomes your spiritual atmosphere. So there are some signs that you can use to see whether you are awake and spiritual and you're using your thoughts positively, or you have the power of the thoughts to make things manifest. And one of them is when you start seeing symbols connected to your desires. For example, if you desire money, you start seeing symbols of money somewhere, or you start finding money on the road, falling for somebody. That means your thought has become so strong and so powerful. Or you start making businesses or deals that work, and people or opportunities appear without effort. When you need something, it comes without any effort or without any struggle, and you usually feel that inner knowing that something is about to happen, or that something has already happened. For example, when you're asking for money, it comes in you, in your mind, in your heart, that it has already been given to me. And that is how it starts. And also your mood lifts without reason. That is one sign that your energy is aligning. So the universe listens to thoughts. Every dream, every destiny, every miracle begins from the temple of your mind. And when your thoughts become clear, focused, and filled with light, creation obeys you. Therefore, the spirit that controls its thoughts controls its world.